Namaste again. So this is the exercise demonstration for stretching for posture groups 6 to 8, meaning you're not moving as quickly, you're not feeling very flexible, you're in pain you're at least uncomfortable most of the time, and you maybe are barely able to move at all. So this sequence that I'm about to show you is going to work wherever you're at, but obviously the worse off you are, the longer it's going to take to do. Probably the better it will feel, though. So that's kind of the payoff, right? What we're going to do is take the basic foundation of yoga. You know, if you kind of there's something they call the Sun Salute. That's like a bit of an overview of all the yoga positions. It's just something simple and nice. It feels great to do. It just wakes everything up and opens up all your organs. Works very, very well, right? So we're going to do a highly modified version of that. Just to get it started, highly modified, because if you're in pain all the time, getting up and down off the floor becomes a deal breaker, right? So we're going to do some standing versions of things to get you started and work on filling in those missing gaps, like how the heck do you get up and down off the floor when you feel that poorly? And why would you want to? You know, it's like, well, I can't really handle it. It causes me pain to try. How about I just not do that at all, right? Well, that's not going to keep you heading towards health, is it? Like, we need to be able to move more of our bodies. One of the most important probably the most important exercise I did on a daily basis when I broke my back is nothing more than getting up and down off the floor, right? So, yeah, we're supposed to still be in the keys here. So stick people posture, belly breathing, and full range of motion. Again, for you, it's going to take a little longer anyway. So make sure you spend a couple of minutes maybe in the beginning doing nothing more than just standing there and breathing. You know, when you're living in pain all the time, the amount of tension you carry is epic. It might take seriously 2 minutes just to be able to be aware of something like the fact that you're holding yourself in tense positions and let it go, right? Take a minute to tune into your body. This is not about following instructions to supposedly get a result, right? You have to learn a skill. We have to feel our way. So don't forget your belly breathing. And remember, no matter how good it might feel to move something new, don't force it as hard as you can. Just do full range of motion, right? Change the direction of motion to feed your body's feeling of wanting more. You're not going to get terribly creative with how much you move, but it's amazing how much you can move without really hardly moving, right? I mean, before we get to this exercise, remember again that for many, many people, the best way to start is not with exercises. You just try to tune in and do whatever your body happens to think feels good. It's going to be pretty slow. Just keep your breathing going. And always keep this tiny amount of motions. Don't ever let parts of your body just start to hang out. That's going to be challenging for you. You know, like if you're focusing on stretching this arm, for example, it's very easy to let the bottom half of your body just kind of go tense in the way that you're used to being, right? It takes awareness. It takes practice before you can start to feel that. So, if you are really struggling with listening to your body mind, right? I'm going to show you right now the modified sequence that can help get you started. The first part, what it's named for, oh, yes. Again, start with finding your posture. Heels, knees, hips, shoulders back, chin up, right? Breathe and relax. Then it looks like angel wings. Now, if you watch me do this, you can see that I'm not just moving my, There we go. Uneven ground here. I'm not just moving my hands out to the sides. I'm also tipping backwards, right? You might not be able to get very far backwards. You might only be able to get as far as something like this. Make some effort, depending on how slouched your neck is, make some effort to try to get that chin up and stretch backwards too, not just out and up. Forget your breathing. And then back down. This one can be very, very, very helpful in developing that breathing habit. Very helpful. In and out. The fact that your arms are going along with the motion of your lungs, kind of concaving and expanding, really, really helps. If you can barely move, just doing this all by itself, all you do is stand there and practice these big arm movements, just reaching as much as you can, makes a whopping difference. Whopping, right? So for the second one, we need a chair probably. Oh, moving the camera here. Make sure we keep the board on there. Oh, that chair's not really tall enough, is it? Okay, well, bad demonstration. Make sure you get a chair. I can still do this. I think I can demonstrate this without actually having the chair that I need. Your chair needs to be reachable, right? It needs to come up to wherever you are comfortable reaching it. I'll just have to, if you have a shorter chair, you can do the same standing lunge, but now you're starting to have to do the squats, which is probably going to be very difficult. This one, well, actually, that's one of them. If you take your good posture, heels, knees, hips, right? Keep your chair right here. It helps to now change the direction of your feet to kind of be duck feet. It's a little more secure, so you don't tip over, and just kind of do some squats. That's definitely helpful. That's actually part of the secret of how to get up and down off the floor. But for stretching your body out, what you want to do is use that chair so that you can at least stretch your legs out, right? Try to get that front knee forward as far as you're comfortable going, and the back leg out as far as you're comfortable going. But you're going to need something to use. You have to have something to hold on to, or this is going to be very hard to do, isn't it? So even if all you can do is this much, maybe you need a taller chair because you're a lot less mobile, and all you can do is a little bit. Just keep that absolute stick person posture. Try going up and down. Try getting into that lunge. Those two things, do both legs, of course, are going to really help getting things moving. You might find that the leg ones are difficult if you have, depending on where you have knots in your back, you're going to have problems with some kinds of movement. Again, then you really need to go back to just feeling your way, doing whatever feels good, because maybe there's one particular knot that you just got to keep working on forever until it loosens up before you can do something like this without a spasm going off because you're hitting a nerve somehow, right? But for most people, no matter how far off, how badly our posture has gotten off, just this basic circle motion does not, in fact, set off any of your knots, even if you have them, which is kind of cool. So, the secret to getting on the floor is to have some kind of handy tool. Some people might be more comfortable with a straight stick because they're just more used to it. But I find that actually a curved stick, especially if you can kind of angle one of the ends, works a lot better as a walking staff, as some kind of support. You know, if you are in a lot of pain or there's some part of your back that simply doesn't work, you have got to have something to hang on to get up and down. So it's not really all that hard. You just have to make sure you have a proper tool. The first part, of course, is just like you were using with the chair. You got to squat down. You know, sometimes you can go faster through parts so you're not killing your knees, but you need to, you can hug this as tightly as you want to. You know, I can hug this. So I can kind of lean forward onto it too. I can kind of ride this like a donkey, right? Again, having a curved stick allows much greater ability to support yourself moving up and down when you're trying to get to the ground. And of course, once you get near the ground, back on the camera here, just let your legs down. Okay, now you're kind of safe. You're just stuck down here, right? So the thing to practice doing is just getting onto all fours. You know, when my back was totally shut, I would get down and keep it straight. This is actually the hard part. It would take me sometimes a couple of minutes just to squeeze my hands, well, not squeeze exactly, I'm scooching my hands along my legs forward so that I'm tipping my back forward without bending, right? But I'm using my arms. I'm not using my back muscles. I'm using my arms and I'm moving slowly so that I'm not setting off whatever my problems are. Sorry, yeah, I got some mosquitoes out. So that's really it. Then you'll end up in this kind of frog-like position. And here, you can work on raising your back. Oh, it can be hard work just to get onto your knees, right? But it does feel very good to do because your body is moving so little that this is kind of like doing jumping jacks, right? It'll feel good just to be able to get on your knees. Now you're in a stable position where if it's at all possible, if you're not in excruciating agony, you can do some stretching down here, right? You'll find new ways to stretch that you couldn't do when you were standing up. And you can do them now that you can have 4 legs like a dog, right? In the beginning, though, like when I first broke my back, just getting to this, maybe stretching a little like this, and a little down, about all I could handle. And then it was time to get back up. Bring the thing back out. And again, you keep that back as straight as you can. And I'm using my muscles in my arms. But I'm not using my muscles in my back. And I can get a leg. This is another rough spot. Getting that first knee up. Like if I'm in a lot of pain, it usually helps to keep one hand here, right? And then you can use one hand to help you lift that leg. Because, you know, you might even want to have an extra support over here. Like you have that other chair so that you can do one of these numbers, right? But you don't bend your back. You are lifting yourself with your arms. You're not using your back, right? So that's about it. Definitely time to start practicing getting up and down. And don't forget the handy dandy slouching rack. This was in the Fix Your Furniture videos and fixing your relaxing area, or if you're in this video, it might have been in the chair video, but if you remember the one where you saw this thing? Again, this is a wonderful tool. If you can get yourself into a seated position, bring yourself forward so that you're perching, right? You don't want to be sitting back into the chair. Just kind of perch on the edge. Get your arms over. You can scooch it all the way in. You can put it farther out. You can play with this all kinds of ways. Again, I don't have to use the muscles in my back now. And it's kind of forcing me into good posture that feels good. And I can use that to stretch in ways that I cannot just using my own muscles because I'm in pain, right? When you have a couple of handy tools like this wonderful little phone saver, right? And a curved walking stick, you can actually get around fully, even though you are basically kind of handicapped, right? It's easier than anybody would actually dream. Everybody can find a stick and a couple of boards, right? So I think that's about it. We're about running out of light too. So if you're taking this course for credit, don't forget to send me a short video of your stretching. You know, if it's something you make up, you know, show me using the tools, whatever is appropriate for you. This one, it's a little harder to give instructions for because there's going to be a wider variety of things that you try. Maybe for you, finding that stick and going up and down off the floor is the most important part. But it would be helpful to, you know, if there's a few things that you try, definitely give me a bit of recording of whatever you have found important and helpful. That's maybe the best way to put it. That's about it. Send it to Ange at cleaninguplady.us. Enjoy. Namaste.